we will be having a discussion about the current COVID-19 pandemic, and we're going to look at it through the lenses of a medical frontliner, specifically a registered physical therapist from the United States. We will be joined by my good friend, who is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy from St. Paul University, Iloilo, and she also finished her doctorate degree from Arcadia University in Pennsylvania. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker, Carmeli Marie S. Trimucha.
I'm really glad that I'm able to share my knowledge and insight of what's going on here in the US. Dear class, thank you for inviting me.
All right. So, Carmeli, can you tell us about your work history? How long have you been in the US? Um, what's the nature of your work when you started there?
So I went here last 2018. I work as a home care physical therapy. So what I do is I would go to one patient's house to another, and I would treat them in their homes. Usually we get referrals from the hospitals, and we would transition them to go for an outpatient therapy. So that's usually the goal for home care physical therapists. So far, I enjoyed it, but the only downside is that if ever you don't like driving, would hate the job. But I love the flexibility of my work because I'm able to work at 9 and end my day at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's it.
Oh, okay. So you're not really stationed at a hospital, right?
No, I don't. But as what I've said, we work from the patient's home, and we would transfer from one patient's home to another. So that's how home care works in the US.
Oh, okay. So, when this COVID-19 pandemic began, can you tell us or describe to us, like, what are the changes in the healthcare system in the US?
Um, so when it started, the frontline workers are really overwhelmed because at first they don't know what to do, and they don't really know how this disease works and how it affects people. So it's just like a trial and error. And then from there, they're able to make conclusions of what's the best thing to do for the patients.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I believe that even though the vaccinations are really up, there's some surges again of the pandemic.
All right. So, as a physical therapist, how did you feel, or like, what are the necessary precautions that you did before, or like when this pandemic started and you're still doing right now?
Uh, so usually, when this pandemic started, I was really very cautious. I would usually wash my hands all the time before and after seeing a patient. I would use my N99 mask, which was given to us by our company, and also I would use my face mask or face shield and my gloves in treating a patient. But then, if a patient is COVID positive, we use this gowns and like booties and like hairnets to at least protect ourselves, um, and that's it.
Okay. So, have you experienced a treating a confirmed COVID-19 patient? And like, what did you do?
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Oh, okay. So when it started, so my boss approached me and asked me if I could handle like one of the patients. Um, because I was the first one who treated a COVID positive. That was like around April or May last year. And then at first I was anxious, but then I prepared myself mentally of what are the steps that I should do, and so that at least I won't panic or I would be anxious and dealing with the patient. But then, as it goes on, I think I'm more confident in dealing with them and in working with them because I got used to it already, and it's really fulfilling. Like when you would see patients who are really the condition, and then they were able to like win off their oxygen and be back to their normal lives again. It's really fulfilling for our jobs as physical therapists.
Mhm. How about in terms of testing, COVID-19 testing? How
Uh
does
huh.
your company do it? Or like they do conduct regular COVID tests to their employees?
Yeah. So in the U.S., it really depends on your work setting, but I know in our company it's not really required for like the testing.
Sorry.
So um, in nursing homes, it really depends on how many, if they're like how often or how frequent they would have like COVID positive patients. Sometimes it's like done twice a week for the testing for both the clinicians and the patients, and sometimes it's just once a week. It's really different. But like for our work setting, our company doesn't require us to do testing. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
I would do it once a week because it's just free. Like
Nice.
you don't need to bring your insurance cards. You just do like a drive through in like Rite Aid. Rite Aid is like a pharmacy in the US, so they conduct free testing, and I believe it's really helpful though.
Mm-hmm. How about in terms of vaccination? Because I believe the US has started already, and you've what administered already 100 million, around a
Yeah,
hundred million doses, right? So
right.
have you done your?
Yeah, I did mine already. I got my two doses. I got Moderna. So um, before usually they would give um, those people who work in the hospitals first, but then in our um, county, they would also like give priority to those who are frontliners or essential workers, and I was able to get them.
So how
So
was it?
far,
Sorry. Okay, go on.
so far they already administered for those people who I believe are already immunocompromised or at least above like 65 years old and who works in schools and like grocery stores and those essential workers.
Yeah. So how was it? Did you experience any adverse effect, like fever, body aches?
Um, for me, I got like body malaise and like the incision side is really sore. But I was able to work the day after I got my COVID shots. Some of my coworkers were having like fevers, headaches, and they're really weak though.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess
So
it really
yeah,
depends.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I guess a few words because we all know here in the Philippines there's a lot of people who are like hesitant to get vaccinated. So
Mhm.
as a healthcare worker, what are your words or advice to people in general with regards to vaccination?
Okay, so I guess the only thing that um, we will be back into normal again is if we have that herd immunity. And so, um, if you want that life again, um, I really recommend for you to get vaccination or vaccines so that at least you'll be able to like eat in a restaurant, travel again, and at least be safe.
Mhm. All right. Okay. So do you have any last few words or advice? What are your learnings, your insights about this current pandemic? And yeah, how about words for future medical frontliners that, in case, would be experiencing this kind of let's say, healthcare crisis again.
Hopefully, it's not. So, COVID is really not a joke. It's like real. I've experienced like seeing a patient who has been having. I didn't see him, but he just told me that in the hospital he was having like high flow oxygen of like maybe 40 liters, or some like even intubated, and then really weak. So it's really bad. So I don't wish anyone to have that. And um, I think still we should practice social distancing, wash your hands, use your face mask, and as much as possible limit travel if it's not really a necessity. And I think with vaccination, I really recommend it. And if everyone is able and of it has the what do you call this has the means of getting it, I think you should, so that at least you won't only save lives, but at least you will be able to protect your family and you as well. So that's it. And also for future nurses or medical frontliners, I salute you because you're really the ones who are like there in the hospitals treating and sacrificing your life. I believe, I hope you'll be able to continue to do that. And I'll be, I just hope that you'll continue to be more passionate about your job and your studies, because you'll be helping a lot of people.
All right. So once again, Carmeli Maritimucha, registered physical therapist from the United States. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This certificate of appreciation is awarded to Carmeli Marie S. Tremusha, RPT DPT, given on the 16th of April, year 2021, for spending her time with us, teaching and inspiring us, and for her extraordinary service and dedication to serve during this time of need. And that ends our webinar for today. To everyone who is watching this, we would like to thank you for your time and for listening attentively. We hope that you all learned something today. Once again, thank you and may God bless you.